Welcome back to Go to Germany Stories, the podcast where we dive into the real experiences of founders, innovators, and leaders shaping the French-German business landscape. I'm Andrea Vaugan, founder of Wings, and today we're unlocking one of Europe's most dynamic and strategic sectors, fintech. Germany is a fascinating market, full of opportunity, full of complexity. And few people understand it as deeply as my guest today, Besart Shala, Country Manager, Germany at IbanFirst. Since early 2022, Besart has been leading IbanFirst's expansion in Germany, building the team, earning the trust of the Mittelstand, and bringing a fresh digital approach to cross-border payments. In this episode, we talk about how IbanFirst is transforming international payments for German businesses, why the Mittelstand is increasingly turning to digital financial solutions, how to build trust in one of Europe's most risk-sensitive markets, and what it really takes to scale a fintech successfully in Germany. So whether you're expanding your fintech abroad or simply curious about the future of European finance, this episode is packed with insight and a lot of strategic advice. Let's dive right in. So, hello, Besart, and welcome to Go to Germany Stories.
Yes. Hi, Andrea. Thanks for the invitation.
So, Besart, I've been waiting for a couple of weeks for us to record the session, and I'm really happy because we know each other for a longer period now, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, roughly. So I wanted to do this session to talk about what you do at IbanFirst. So you're the country manager for Germany at IbanFirst, fintech. And so before we start into our questions, I would like to hear a little bit about yourself, your role at IbanFirst, and also maybe a couple of information about the company IbanFirst and what are you doing?
Yes, of course. Thanks. My name is Besart. I'm 36 years old. Work at IbanFirst. I'm responsible for the German market. The title is Country Manager in Germany. That means that I'm, as said, responsible for the whole expansion on the German market, also leading locally the marketing approach, everything which is related to HR. Yeah, to expand and to further have a, let's say, increase the footprint of IbanFirst on the German market. I started IbanFirst in January 2022. With the task to build up the office in Düsseldorf, which we did successfully. Now we moved already into our third office here in Düsseldorf because we were growing and growing, and the capacities were not there anymore. Now in April this year, we just moved into a bigger office with desks to have 24 people in. So right now we are 14 here in Düsseldorf, and we are looking further to expand the team because what we do at IbanFirst is cross-border payments. We're specialists in cross-border payments. We add to this also the payment protection, which is a full offering and a very helpful offering to the German Mittelstand, so-called Mittelstand, because we very often face that these clients are now, let's say, on the verge of getting more digital, managing all these challenges, and then having a digital platform, which includes also the human touch, what we provide with the team. It helps, and it is a real added value. So that's a lot of fun. We are looking forward to what's also coming up this year.
Mm-hmm. And so, what are your typical clients, or what is the typical client problem? Why are they choosing IbanFirst?
So I would start with your first question. Who's the typical client? I think a typical client can be every company which has to deal with foreign currencies. Either you buy or you sell products or also services and you receive then, for example, USD, so US dollar, or you have to pay in US dollar, for example, then of interest for you, because we see that especially also in these, let's say, volatile times, where we also don't know with the tariffs and what is going to happen between the US, between China. It's volatile. Then it's let's say it's very important for finance teams to manage this risk because it's a currency risk, and with our platform we introduce to the client something which is digital, which is very fast. Just to give you an example, we send money to the beneficiary in UK, for example, in 30 minutes. In China, in 6 to 8 hours, it's already credited on the beneficiary's account, which helps to reduce time. So the time gap from receiving the money to launching the products it helps German customers then to receive the products earlier. So that's why it helps. In addition to that, we are transparent. We also offer this to our clients, the payment tracker, which allows you to have let's say a tracking of your money. So the clients can then just see where is my money, at which bank, who is charging which charges. So it's very transparent, and it also helps in the communication with your suppliers.
And compared to a normal bank where they would go to, what is the biggest difference at IbanFirst?
I think the biggest difference is on the one side, let's say the high transparency we offer. In addition to that, experts who are specialists who are really handling the whole day the FX risks, and can also inform our clients about everything which is happening on the market. Compared to a bank, what also helps us is this platform, which is let's say really easy to handle. It's the client who can have access to the platform, gets real time rates, which is also very often with the banks that you get it in the morning, maybe in the afternoon. Our clients get real-time access to the rates and can push that. But it's easy to handle, as mentioned, because in 3 clicks you have sent money abroad, so cross-border, and have also converted euro to US dollar, for example, or the other way around.
And so give us a little bit of information about the company. So how big are you? Because you're a real European champion already with IbanFirst. Before we talk about Germany.
Indeed. I think we're also very proud of the journey, because IbanFirst was founded in 2016 by our CEO, Antoine Dussolier. He is also still in the company. Started in 2016. Now we are in 12 countries. So during that period, we started in Brussels, added then the French office, Netherlands, as of this year also Luxembourg, and then Germany in 2021. Added also, or did a merger in UK. We bought a company, integrated them to IbanFirst. South Europe, from Portugal, Spain, and Italy, also, let's say, countries where we have own locations, and then also the eastern part of Europe with Hungary, Bulgaria, and Romania. So I think there we have, let's say, the most important, let's say, geographies included into IbanFirst. Austria, for example, also very important, which is being served from Germany. So I think we have already good footprint in Europe. We are very proud of what we have achieved now. 350 people in the company. Last year we did about 65 million in revenues. Have also been EBITDA positive, which is also a very good sign, because that shows that this model is sustainable. Yeah, and I think the best feedback we get is from clients, and we are able to convince more and more clients month by month of our service, and this is also the feedback which we get from the clients.
Yeah, well, congratulations to the journey, and now we're going to look a little bit more about into the German market, because this is what we want to talk about today. So, so you said 2021 start in the German market. You came in a little bit later. How important is the German market for IbanFirst, and what was a little bit the journey that you took from the very beginning? You know, when did you decide to launch a German market? How did you go about it? What were a little bit the first months or first one or 2 years of IbanFirst in Germany?
Yeah, I think first of all, we in IbanFirst we think that Germany is, next to France and UK, one of the key markets in Europe, because everyone is, I would say, a bit jealous about our so-called Mittelstand, because it's also very unique in Europe. You have strong companies with strong ties internationally. We have from manufacturers, but also big companies who produce abroad, and then need to deal with the risk. With the currency risk there. That's why we think Germany is very important. But there is a big opportunity, but that also means when there is a big opportunity, there are also some challenges you face on the German market. I would like to describe first how the first months were when I started in January, because we started with 3 people, including myself, in Düsseldorf. It was one room. First of all, very, very hard. I must say, very, very, very tough to hire people, because you want to convince someone of a journey, and sell that vision in a certain way of there we will be in 5 years, for example. Then when I now look back with these 3 people in the Düsseldorf office, seeing now having 20 people in place, what is also something which is really important to me is we are sustainable. So there's a sustainable growth. It was not that we just invested and have never, let's say, seen revenues or EBITDA being positive. The contrary is the truth. So that's very helpful, and that also shows that what you sold once to the guys becomes now more reality. I think if you would ask me what is important when you start or when you launch a country, which people, let's say, are important to do so, is people who let's say who have a vision, who want to have an impact, but also people who want to create. And let's say it's a tough path, I must say, because you will have to deal with uncertainties, you will have setbacks, but it's always about the bigger picture, and that we have been able to do so. We have a lot of people who started from the beginning are still part of the journey. That's also very important. So that means we have been able to this vision to get that into reality, but also to kind of keep our word, develop people, being sustainable, showing okay, we can build something out of scratch by just believing and putting in hard work.
And why did you join in the beginning? How did they find you, or did you find them?
Let's say I was found. So they found me. I was at the bank before I joined IbanFirst. Also happy in the bank because I every 2 years I did the next step in my career, which was very helpful, and I think also the knowledge I gathered during that period was very important for my start at IbanFirst, because I know the whole, let's say, challenges a company has, because I discussed it in a very broad way, depending on cash management, trade finance, working capital, liquidity, how to deal with that. So that helped in the conversations with the client. But I had a strong desire of to create things, to create something my own. And there was this opportunity. You can create, but you are still, let's say, responsible. So you create this is office. You start a new market within a company. There I must say, if you would, in terms of learning, I had a very steep learning curve, because I needed to find an office, sign a rental agreement, needed to think of, okay, 1 pager, 2 pages, sales presentations. Then with HR together, we also defined the working contracts and all that. So it's not about being just in a department and kind of separated from all the other stuff. You are now office manager, caretaker, facility management, IT expert. You really need to deal with the whole bunch of topics. But what I like about this, because then you also can better understand the needs of your clients, because most of our clients are company owners.
Yep.
So they have the same challenges. You feel when they sometimes, for example, tell you, hey, today there was this incident, I don't have time, can we please speak tomorrow? You can better understand what's going on, and you also better understand, for example, why they also chase you later, let's say in the evening, and not during the usual working hours, because that's also something I learned from the beginning. Especially when building the team, you are there first to serve the team, so to help the team, to support the team, and then after, let's say in the afternoon, late afternoon, then you get your things done. That's also something. You're a mentor, you're a coach, but you're also someone who challenges your team. So therefore you need to be there. You need to be responsive to them.
Yeah. So you said you started with 3 people in the beginning. You were one of those 3. So how did you So first of all, of course, the question of hiring is very important and very difficult. And now you have a rather big team, so 20 people. So it gets a little bit easier, I guess, because you already have a track record also to show in Germany. But what were maybe also to find the first clients? I mean, we're talking about money. We're talking about sending money from, around the world. So it's really a very sensitive topic. So I guess that in this market, which is really risk averse and needy
Yeah.
of trust in Germany, how do you still convey this trust to your customers and that they can really rely on IbanFirst and your services?
I think there's one point you mentioned. That I would say that that's the big one of the big challenges we have is trust. We first need to deliver and not only promise things. So the moment, but you also need to get to that point that you are allowed to deliver. So that's why, for example, we also defined our sales strategy for Germany. That on the one side we have an outbound team speaking to clients, which helps. But on the other side, we also added a partnership manager, so that you have also a kind of indirect channel where we put in a lot, and this is also an investment. You put a lot of work into associations, corporations. You need to be present. You need to speak to the prospects. So and build
Yeah, you're doing quite a
trust.
lot of events also. So being,
We do
yeah.
a lot of events. Just because of this, we really want to show, okay, it's real. It is not. Although we have this digital platform, there are humans behind this. So the human touch is there, and we want to be present. Because we say, okay, we are transparent. We say we understand your needs. To understand your needs, you need to be in contact. You need to be in conversations with the clients. That's why we do all these events, so that people can see us. They can ask questions. You have someone, let's say, really to touch, and not only a digital solution. And this helps.
Did you, when you started in Germany, did you start right away with a, let's say, German-centric way of doing things, or did you do some copy pasting from what has been done in the first markets, in the French market, for example, which is a big market for IbanFirst? Did you copy paste, or did you directly start with a German native strategy, let's say?
I would say when I started, I first collected everything and information which I could gather from the people, because I think if you have shown that you can be very successful in other markets, I think at least you should try it as well, or check everything, double check what they are doing, and then see which of the good things, the best practice sharing is it in the end, that you see what you can adapt to Germany. I always say that I have the feeling that the French people like, for example, to speak in pictures, so visualizing everything. But very often when you speak to German finance people, it's only about facts and only about numbers. So this way, then you needed to adapt a bit the presentations. But I think there was also some good things included, and we could just also copy paste in the way, for example, how we do, because that's whom do you call? So first of all, you need to start sourcing for the right clients. You have a definition: who is our ideal customer? So the ICP was defined by our colleagues in Paris, and then this is something you take, and then you search on the German market who could be a potential client for us, and then for sure, let's say you take this as a ground, and then you adapt, let's say, the local needs.
And how important is for you communicating those things back to the head office and discussing with the team from the headquarter about the differences that you see in the German market, and how important it is to adapt things to the market and to do a couple of things differently? So, I mean, what I learned about IbanFirst is that there is a big openness of adapting things to the German market. But how often do you go to Paris? Because this is where the biggest operations, are. And how do you deal with this, always communicating back?
Yeah. I think what helps is I'm at least once per quarter I'm in Paris. Sometimes also more often, depending on the topics to discuss. But what we have is, for example, when I see my colleagues in Paris, let's take, for example, the marketing CMO David. With him, I have a weekly exchange that we discuss things, how to approach the German market, what is our strategy. I think that's very, very important that you do so. I'm a big fan of feedback. That's one of the first things I learned back in the bank, provide feedback, but also ask for feedback. And I think by providing feedback, both can learn. It's a very good way to learn, let's say, from each other, because I have an idea, you try it, you fail, you correct it or adapt it, and then you start again. And I think so you need to build that resilience that you don't give up, but you just adapt, change things, start again. And this helps, and especially when you have what you also said, when you have also a team. When I take, for example, David from the marketing or CMO, he is also very, very open to this kind of let's say feedback, but also very open to also challenge each other. I think it's also important that we challenge each other, because that's also strengthens your vision of how do you perceive the market, how do you want to go to the market. That's, I would say, you need to have regular exchange, give feedback, also ask for feedback. It's also important. And then I think together, it's always easier to define a good approach to the market.
Yeah. So I agree, because when I look at, different projects that we've seen in the past, sometimes, let's say from the head office, there's a little bit of reluctance of trying new things and really trying to understand why the German market or any other market is different and needs a different treatment. And so if you build up this trust by communicating a lot with your head office, and you always, give this feedback on why things are differently, and then you try things out, people look at you and they say, oh, really, is this going to work? And then you say, yeah, trust me, let's try it. And then you have the good, feedback culture. And then you can also make errors. I mean, this is also part, if they're not too expensive, but you should also be able to make some mistakes and to learn from them. So this exchange is really important for you. And when you look at the team that you have built up, because you're now a rather big team in Germany, so you have two offices, right? One in Düsseldorf and one in Munich, to be able to service the German market from two geographies. So we said you were three people. What were the most important people that you hired, and how did you prioritize between sales, senior, so like BDR, SDR, account executive, and how did you build this up?
I think back then we had a bit different structure than we have today, because I think we were in the early days. We were just starting in the market, and therefore we had an SDR department, then sales, and then also our account executives, our account management. So with the SDRs, having more, let's say, SDRs, more junior people to start with, because when it comes to what I said earlier about this vision, it's also about taking risks. So junior people are more likely to take these risks than a senior guy. So that's why in the beginning we had a more junior team, more SDRs, and then a few sales. The SDRs were there to, let's say, to source for deals, to do the prospecting. Then the sales, they were only there to close. And then the account executives for the client retention. And also in our case, also to speak about the payment protection and different strategies, how to manage the risks for our clients. Then we moved after a while, I think it was early 2024, moved into more, because also we became more senior and more sales. And we did an analysis and had the feeling of you need now more seniors, because of the market was changing, and we wanted to attract CEOs, CFOs. So therefore we said, okay, the good guys who really developed very well, they are still with us and are serving now as senior sales. Because we saw that if you want to attract CEOs, CFOs, they also would like to speak with someone at the same level, and not to have this big discrepancy between, let's say, my level of knowledge to the caller. So that's why we said, okay, we need to change, we need to adapt, because that's also something which comes during the scaling phase. You need to adapt very fast. This is what we did. So right now we have only these two departments: the full cycle sales and the account management. And
And
next to it, also the customer success manager, who is there for more the technical issues to support the clients.
And how do you, it's always a little bit difficult when you're when you are not at the head office, but if you are in the country. And what is maybe different in the culture that you have in your team in Germany from what you see happening at the head office? And how do you keep the company culture alive? How do you keep people, attached to the brand, attached to the team, attached to, let's say, representing IbanFirst, like everyone would in Europe? Do you have some special, let's say, strategies for doing that at IbanFirst?
I think what helps us, you will see it also from other countries, but also from Germany, is, I would say, regular kind of team events. What we do is a summer party, a Christmas party together with the whole German team. Then either we from Düsseldorf fly to Munich, or the Munich team comes over to Düsseldorf. This is very important, but also during the year, for example, in Paris, our teams are very often participating in marathons, for example. We in Germany, we just recently went to play some padel. So this is the stuff you need to do. And then what we also do as a whole group, every 2 years we have a big offsite to see the team, to be because you very often on a daily basis you speak to guys, but then you see them also in person. That helps. In addition to that, new joiners, so they are invited to visit the Paris office for 2 days. There will be a whole, let's say, onboarding for the guys, speaking to the different stakeholders in the company. For example, our CRO Ivo, or from the product side, Dimitri. To better understand what is our vision, what is on the one side, what is the vision, on the one side, what is our mission as well. And this is becoming, to me, it is becoming the number one payment provider in Germany. And during that way, we also want to have the best service to our clients. This is what we demand, and this is what helps. And we as a whole group are able to kind of to be the role models for it, especially we from the management. We are the first promoters of this, and then we have been able, let's say, to hire also some influential guys, some inspiring people who really live that, and who stand behind that brand, and want to be a part of it, wants to see the next phase. So that helps.
So the German market now for IbanFirst is an important market. Is also still a lot of possibilities, and there is still a lot of potential in the market. So how do you adapt the story to the German market? So how do you, let's say, you incorporate, of course, the European brand of IbanFirst, but then you also have a local identity of what you do in Germany with your clients, adapted to the German clients. About, we talked about risk, we can talk about sales cycles, we can talk about proximity and everything. So what is a little bit the local identity that you have built up and that you try to really, let's say, bring to your clients in Germany?
I think how we see ourselves as we are a partner to our clients. It's very important that we show, and we work like this. We are partners, so it's not about that we are just a bank. You come to us, or you ask us to let's say to do some tasks, but it's more about a partner. We need to add value to this relationship. That means that we are. A client chooses us because they want an expert. They want specialists around their FX topics, or around their currency risks. They want to manage it, so they go to the best. And this is IbanFirst. This is the team we have here in Germany in place. You need to be a partner, so you need to be available. I said a digital platform with a human touch. You need to be available to them. You need to be proactively also thinking about solutions, what might help. Additionally, you also need to be someone who is also, let's say, for the clients, because we want to take some work from them. So, for example, we just launched the IBAN Pay, which is an AI agent where a client just uploads his invoice and everything will be prepared for him. So he can just click on confirm if everything was read properly. So we are there to make the life of our clients when it comes to currency risk easier.
And what do you think is the biggest difference between how, let's say, for example, there could be the French team or any other team at IbanFirst where you see, okay, this is a real difference between what they do and what we need to do in the German market to get the customer?
I think we Germans are. It's in our identity. We are cautious. When I see, for example, just a personal example. When I see my father, he likes to go to the bank where he is since more than 20 years, and is not very open to try new things. And this is, I would say, in a more broader way in Germany the case. So it's about opening for new alternatives, for new solutions. This is something which we see in Germany. The people are more reluctant to do so. But when once you are, let's say, one step further, then you still need to deliver, because they are saying, okay, let's do the first trade, let's do the first transaction together, and then I want to see the whole process. Once I'm convinced of the whole process, what we then see is, and this is that's why I like the word sustainable in this case, then it's lasting for a longer time. So we don't lose these clients because, as said, you identify yourself as a partner. It's about a partnership. So it's about you deliver. The client then, let's say, trusts you, but he also is loyal then to you. So therefore, we see, for example, in our case, for Germany, compared to the others, the biggest increase, if you, for example, check the net retention rate. So we have always been able to upsell, for example, to keep the clients and even also expand the business just with the book of business, and then adding also, let's say, all our new the acquisition efforts on top.
So your clients are coming from the more traditional, no, let's say the service they had before was more the traditional way at the bank. So you have to get them where they are. You have to understand where they are coming from, how they have been served. And I guess this is how you need to talk to them also, is in a reassuring, maybe in the beginning, taking them from the traditional service that they had to a new service, by keeping the trust, by keeping the personal touch, by keeping all of that, and then to show them what the possibilities are basically in this new, more fintech world, without, let's say, giving them too much fear of, okay, this is also technical and this is also complicated and it's not trustworthy. I mean, you're a big company now. You're not a startup anymore, right? You're not even a scale up anymore. You can say it's really also a grown company. So how maybe you can give us 2 or 3 ideas on how you do exactly that. So you have the personal touch, but is there also something in your communication where you try to, be seen as a solid company?
Yeah, I think to be seen as a solid company, we also have a broad partnership network. So what I mentioned earlier, when we did, for example, the partnership work, and we attended associations, you need also to be there on site, speak to them, and especially in Germany. Everyone knows that you're also there to get new contacts, to expand your network, and a bit of selling is also included there. But I think, especially in Germany, we see that it lasts more when it's a conversation, when also the client doesn't have the feeling, hey, this guy is only here to sell me something, because this is not going to work. No, I think we need to think of let's say to have a broader conversation, not only about the FX, but about value and about added value from a business partner. So it is more a consultative selling, which helps us. Just making it up, a very, very easy example. When the rate hikes, and I would call the client, just say, hey, the rate is nice. Would you like to protect this rate? Would it help you? I think that's the client can read let's say the news. The client can read a graph. It is more about what is the value behind it. When I do it right now, what does it mean to me for the future? This is one part. I think in another part which helps is also what we did just recently. For example, we are also in a kind of relationship with Fortuna Düsseldorf, a local football club here in Düsseldorf, with a very nice story, which I really like, is about making football accessible to everyone. They have for this year they have planned five games, for example, for free. You can just apply on their homepage for one of these tickets. It's for free. It's about just giving back the football to
The people.
to the people. Yeah, and especially also, for example, the disabled ones or the people who are, let's say, have a background where it's not they can't afford to visit the game. So with them, for example, we also drive initiatives. We also do. We just did this event where we invited clients, also showing a different way of, let's say, how business can be seen as well, and especially how business works in football. And there was one client who just said it to me, sitting there when the Florian Böning, the strategy executive, told us there was one shot and the forecast of 30 million was gone because the shot was missed. Then he was like, I'm happy that my forecast doesn't rely on one shot. So just also to have that feeling that building connection, being seen as a business partner, and I think the moment you add value to this relationship, it helps you to overcome, let's say, the trust issue, and also helps you to strengthen the bonds. Because, as said, we then also see in Germany, especially, that the clients where you have a very strong relationship to them, they stay loyal. Because it's not only about the price, for example.
Yeah, it's really about creating the relationship. So when you look back and at the last couple of years where you helped build up IbanFirst in Germany, what would be like the two or three advice or tips that you would give any other country manager who needs to build up his fintech or any other company really in B2B in Germany? What would be your advice?
So my advice would be, don't wait too long. First of all, do. You will need to make some mistakes, which is good, because then, as said earlier, you adapt. On the one side you adapt, on the one side you change. You go completely new ways. Also sometimes, for example, about this partnership side, because we did it because we also saw, okay, you trust is an issue. How do you overcome trust? And by also there building trust to the partners, seeing, okay, it's valid, it's a good service which clients get here, so they also get a good feeling about forwarding clients. So I would say this helps. Think of value, think of what is added value, and as said, you really need to be fast, because I think pace is something which is on the one side, it doesn't cost you anything, but if you are fast and you have a high pace compared to everyone others on the market, it's something where a client think, wow, huh? It's really fast. I remember the first client I won for us, when I showed them that they just sent GBP, it was then, so British pounds, to their supplier in 35 minutes. It was already credited on the account. They, wow,
So show that it works.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people have to touch it, right? People have to see it, and they have to see that it works. They don't buy a promise, or they don't buy a vision. They buy something that works. That's the engineer.
Correct.
They
Correct.
need something
That's
that
why
works.
also very early speak about your successes. If you have, let's say, a very good use case, speak about it very quickly. Build up testimonials, or have a short interview, just to speak about it, because that shows it's working. Yeah, this is very important. Therefore, one of my biggest takeaways is really, as said, speak about your successes, do. Speak to clients, speak to people, think of, let's say, who could be a multiplier to your offering. This also helps to reach more people with for example, with one touch point.
You also did a lot of press communication in Germany, no? That was very beneficiary. I don't know, beneficial for IbanFirst. I think it's a real driver for you, no?
Correct. Since the beginning, we were working with a PR agency, because especially as a fintech, and the safeguarding of funds is also something which are questions which we get very often. So that's why we also, okay, with the PR agency, we can reach more and more, let's say, readers, more and more potential clients. I said about these multipliers. It's you have someone who speaks about you, In this case, it's being published, and then you can immediately spread your message to, for example, 100,000 people, 200,000 people.
Yeah. Creating
It's
trust
also a tool.
again.
Yeah, and creating trust.
And so,
Indeed.
what is the biggest? What is the biggest? Let's say sales driver for you, or the biggest lead driver? What is your secret sauce when we talk about sales? Do you like call? Do you email? Do you partner? What's the
Calling and speaking to people via phone or via digital, let's say, tools is still, let's say, the best working tool,
cold
honestly.
calling? Cold calling?
Cold calling, or it can be cold calling, can be email campaigns, but it's also something you learn very quickly. You need also to be still, let's say, a bit cautious because of GDPR. It should be fine with that. So once you have clarity on this can be something. Create demand through SEO, SEA. It's also something, and now also with AI, also important also to have this one, let's say, on your radar as well, because it helps. For example, I was searching for an HR agency recently. I used AI. You think that there are many clients who think the same way, and they think of, hey, how to manage my risk. So let's see in chat what ChatGPT says. Who is a good let's say partner for this topic. So this is also something you need to have on your radar. Yeah, calling.
Events and
SEO,
partners.
SEA, events and partnership in addition
But
to
if you
that.
say cold calling, what is the secret? So tell us, because everyone is looking for the secret. What's the secret to the good cold calling? Is it the person? So what's the most important thing? Would you say it's the person, it's the pitch, it's the product, it's maybe a combination of all? But what is the
Say on the one side is the sales, so it's the discipline of sales, but also the ability to coach and to train your salespeople, that they learn that it should be in a consultative way. Not just, I'd say, very easily calling, hey, I'm calling from here. Do you have FX? Do you want to do your FX with me? This is not adding value. So it's thinking about prepare. Also preparation of a case, preparation of a client is very important, because I think when you do the calling, it's about creating a bit of interest, and then more. Now let's plan 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes to go deeper into the topic, because I think the aim is not that we just call you, but it's more about also to learn from the client what is needed, and can our solution be a fit to them.
And if you say you have to train them, do you train them? I mean, you personally, or do you have people who train them, or do they have like sales coaching or something like that? What do you do?
And in the beginning, I did it myself, because when you start, you do everything yourself first, because you are cautious also with let's say, with your budget and all that. Now we have, for example, myself. We have Benedict, who is serving as the head of desk here in Düsseldorf. We do the trainings on in-house, but also from time to time, and we see, especially when we add a bunch of new people, that we also get external, let's say, support on this, because this helps as well, because it's a different way of coaching people when you see them on a daily basis, and then when you have someone externally who has, let's say, who is an expert and only selling. This also helps
I mean,
but it's also good for the personal development of the team members.
why I think it's so important is because, people always try to find the key to the market. And then many people say that cold calling, is still or has always been maybe the best way to get into touch with the customer. But then cold calling is something that not everybody can do. It's a question of personality. It's a question of daring, to call someone. And then it's also always investing in the capacities of the team and the capabilities, and really saying, okay, not just, just figure it out, just pick up the phone, but we will really help you, and we really coach you and train you so that you can do it. I think, especially if you have younger people in the team who do not have all of this experience of 15 years of sales or reach out campaigns. So I think this is something that is really, really important and really good that you do it, and it seems to be working.
Indeed. It's and that's what I said earlier. It's also about, and this is what I like, for example, also in the interview process, resilience. And what I do is I'm very transparent also during the meetings, because you don't want to have someone signing for your vision and then seeing a completely different world than you have promised before. It's about trust, and it's about being trustworthy. And I said being a business partner to your clients, but that also means being a good partner also to your team.
To your team.
Because you need their buy-in. Otherwise, the best vision is not going to fly. So you need people, you need the buy-in of your people. It's and what I like the most is, and it fulfills me also in a way, that I see also the people growing. I see the getting better and better from year to year, expanding their knowledge, really developing into experts, and that's also something. And that's why coaching is also one of the biggest learnings I took the last years.
Yeah. And so now looking ahead, what's up for IbanFirst in 2026? We will be releasing this end of 2025 or very beginning of 2026. So how are you gonna kill the market in 2026?
I think what we are doing right now is we are hiring a lot of roles from sales to account management. I just mentioned it also earlier. We just launched the IbanPay. We have the EBIX connectivity in place. We as IbanFirst are also driving our API connectivity. So we really want to become the number one payment provider for German Mittelstand in terms of managing all your currency risks. Therefore, we are, as I said, we are developing the platform. We are expanding the team, also getting there more seniority in. Because we see that helps, and also the market is getting more and more challenging, and therefore we want to be prepared. So that's our goal for the next year.
Okay, well let's see at the end of the year how everything worked out. Thank you very much, Besart, for your time and for everything you shared with us about
Welcome.
building up this team in Germany, and finding all of those clients and managing the risk and building up the trust and all of this. So it's a lot of things to do. And thank you very much. And we'll keep in touch, and we'll get some update maybe beginning of 2027 to see where IbanFirst has landed. Let's say.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it, and thank you very much for the invitation. It was great to speak to you, and also to share also a bit about IbanFirst, and also my personal view on this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Besart. Thank you. And that's a wrap for this episode of Go to Germany Stories. A huge thank you to Besart Shala for sharing such clear, honest, and practical insights into what it takes to grow a fintech company in Germany, from adapting to local expectations, to earning the trust of the Mittelstand, to scaling a team from 3 to 20 in just a short time. IbanFirst's journey shows how powerful a combination of transparency, human trust, and digital innovation can be in one of Europe's most demanding markets. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a 5-star rating, and share it with someone working in fintech or expanding to Germany. Thanks for listening, and see you very soon for more Go to Germany stories.